Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to kind of discuss and or go over how I utilize my planner for goal setting. So I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos on how I use like what my planning process is for the year ahead. So I will grab a sheet like this with each of the months, or really even just scrap paper, and I will start jotting down all of the things I want to accomplish. So once I've come up with my goals list, right? So I'm not big on setting like New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but I do try to set finite goals for myself. So for example, one of my goals this year is to read 52 books this year. So 52 books is pretty easy to break down by week. Because there's 52 weeks in a year. That means each week I need to read one book. Sometimes if it's like an audiobook, I can burn through a couple of those in a week, no problem. But if it's something that I'm having to stop and sit and read, and it does take a little bit longer, just because I can't read while I'm driving, but I can listen to an audiobook while I'm driving. I can also listen to an audiobook while I'm cooking, where I cannot read a book while I'm cooking for the most part. Sorry for all the sniffling. I'm having an allergy day today. So again, once I have my goals, I then will sit and write those goals into each of my months. So for each of these months, for the most part, it's going to be read 4 books. Some will be read 5 books because, again, we have 52 weeks in a year. But I'll go through each of those months and I'll write all that stuff and all that information in. And then, of course, I will go into each of my monthlies. And so for me, each of these weeks will be read a book, read a book, read a book. And then I will then track that in my planner. So everything that I utilize is a tool to culminate all in my big planner, just my big everyday planner. This is my Plan With Me planner. But I will, a lot of times, if I've shown you guys before, and I'm sure I have, I will write my goals here, right? So just an easy way to keep track of it and check it off. This is a great place to track my monthly goals because monthly goals, weekly goals, yearly goals are all different. And your yearly goals should break down into each of those monthly and weekly, even daily categories. Once you've done that, once you add your goals here, then when you look at your weekly spreads, it should also populate in here. Your goals should be everywhere. The more that you're looking at them, the more you're thinking about them, the more that you're seeing them, the more you're acting on them. I've always found for me that really, truly keeps me accountable when I break it down into like every minute detail, because really it's little actions every day that culminate in a massive outcome. I can't run or walk, 365 miles in a day, but I can walk a mile a day. So when you break it down like that for yourself, no matter what the goal is, I find it a lot more attainable for me. So it's the same with like, if your goal is to get out of debt. So if your starting amount is, I don't know, there's 100 icons here. I can't math right now. It's simply too early. So if my goal was to pay off $1,000 in debt, or even to save up $1,000, right? So if I was going to pay off $1,000 in debt, and there's 100 icons here, that means each icon is only $10. So I love these like physical representations of either paying off your debt or savings. It is so helpful. And then you color in each one so you can actually see the progress that you're making. It's almost like playing a game with yourself, if you think about it that way. It's almost like playing a game with yourself. And the more that you see what you've accomplished, the more that you are encouraged to keep going. And it's the same with with a weight goal. Just depending on how you want to show yourself what you're accomplishing. If you say you have a goal this year to lose 20 pounds, okay? There are multiple different ways to track this, but you could do a weekly weigh-in. You can also do your body measurements because it's not, you're probably not just looking to lose weight, but to get healthier, to maybe get more toned. So by doing those body measurements, even if your weight isn't going down, you can actually see how your body is changing. And then there's always progress pictures as well. In your planner, you can and should definitely utilize the planner to keep yourself accountable. So if it says every Monday morning, I need to weigh in and then track my weight right here, then I know that's how I'm keeping myself accountable for that goal that I set. But any goal can be broken down into little bits and pieces. So if my weight goal is to lose 24 pounds, I'm just going to make the math easy for myself, then that means that each month I want to lose 2 pounds. Now, am I going to ask myself to lose 2 pounds in a week? Probably not. That might not be the most reasonable expectation. Because you also want to make sure that you're not like starving yourself or like working out to the point of like blacking out or something like that. So everything you have to do like in moderation and like with your comfort level and your fitness level and that type of stuff. So always, do your research, talk to doctors if you need to do that. Make sure that you have the resources necessary. Like if you're an asthmatic, make sure you have your inhaler if you need it. But again, just write down your goals list and don't say I want to read more. Be definitive. I want to read 26 books this year. That's 1 book every 2 weeks. I want to read 52 books this year. That's 1 book a week. I want to read 104 books this year because that's 2 books every week. Choose a goal that you can manage. Some people can only want to read 1 book a month, and that's great. Whatever works for you. When you set these goals, keep in mind, think about it as a division problem. Because no matter what goal you pick, you have 12 months to allocate to that goal. You have 12 months that you must break that goal into pieces and plug it into your life. Because essentially for me, that's how I think of it. My planner is my life. It's my life plan. So when I'm building out this life plan, if I want to accomplish all of these things and do all the stuff, I have to plug it in somewhere. I do not have an infinite amount of time. I do not have an infinite amount of energy. At some point, I will get tired. At some point, I will get sick. At some point, I will have to move things around. So in a sense, like you have to be flexible, but also like I write mine on a large sticky, like for my goals, I write them on these large sticky notes, and then I stick this sticky note to the week. And I can add items to this. I can also remove items from this. I also go back and check off the ones that I've accomplished and the ones that I still need to accomplish. And that helps me with keeping all of my goals and like tracking all of my progress and all of that good stuff. But for the most part, just keep in mind this is how I'm going to track everything. This is what is going to make sense. So for me, typically my goals are going to be things that either I haven't ever accomplished before or things that I want to continue to accomplish this year. I have a spider. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's tiny and hanging out on my ring light. Anywho, but that's the process that I use. So like I said, so right here, this would be like my monthlies. So then I would come in here and finish book 1, right? And then you would go all the way down counting each of your books. I also, in the back of my planner, so again, he's having a field day. In the back of my planners, whatever planner I end up using, usually we'll have like some note pages back here like this. So I'll take this page and I will make this my 2025 book tracker. So then I'll write down all of the books that I read, each book. And I actually, this year I decided to add the page count to each of the titles so that way at the end of the year I can see the total number of pages that I read. Just because it's an interesting data point for me. Because I do like to look back and see what all I've accomplished. I did a halfway through the year like progress report for myself, and it was actually pretty cool to see, because for the past couple of months I have not necessarily been on point with like my workouts and things like that. So I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by a little spider. He's teeny tiny. I genuinely don't know if you guys can see him at all, but he keeps going up and down right here underneath my ring light. It's kind of funny. But I just wanted to give you guys like a little walkthrough of like how I do goal setting in my planner. It is something that I do consecutively every single year. Do I achieve every single goal I set? No. And that's okay. I can add that one to next year or decide if that's just not something that's feasible for me at the moment. So either way, it works out for me just fine. Let me know what kind of goals you guys are planning on setting for next year, or what goals you did set for this year. I always love hearing about what people are trying to accomplish at any point in time. Sometimes it gives me great ideas of what I want to add for myself in either the next year or stuff that I can add now. Because I'm always looking for self-improvement. I always want to better myself. I mean, you only get one shot at this life, and I always feel like it's very, very important to learn everything that you can. I can't do hand lettering to save my life, but I continuously try to work on it and get better and improve that skill, because I would love to be able to hand letter and use that in my planners. It's just not something that I've quite mastered yet, so I'll keep working on it. And I mean, once it gets to a point where I can actually write something legible that doesn't look goofy, I'll definitely incorporate that into some of my spreads. But I hope you guys gained maybe a little bit of knowledge or some ideas of how to really hit those goals hard every year. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great week ahead, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.